welcome to ACNN Stop is Sports. It's that moment of the week where we'll discuss a little bit of something that will make us excited, something that brings us together. One thing that we all, when we think of that, we put aside our differences and come together to enjoy the moment. Welcome to Now Streaming Sports. I'm your anchor for this morning, Chikwebuka Ike, and I have to co-anchor with me this show this morning, my co-anchor, Mr. Godwin.
Oh, thank you so much, Ebuka. Like you rightly said, it's that moment of the week for me where I always agree with Komrisoko.
Why do you always agree with Komrisoko?
Komrisoko is a dual personality. He's a sport analyst and also a public, political analyst also. But when you come to politics, the sideline of Komrisoko deserves a yellow card first.
All right, so just before we start the show, before we start the game, Comrade Soko, you already have one yellow card. So please be conscious of your tackles, be conscious of your actions before you get another yellow card that will lead to a red card or even a straight red card.
Even direct red card.
Or a straight red card. So viewers, let's welcome our guests for today. We have Comrade Soko all the way from Delta State, and we also have Raphael here in the studio. Raphael is wearing a Hamas jersey this morning.
He does this all
I don't know. I don't understand. Last week he was wearing what jersey was he wearing last week? Inter Milan. And now that you're wearing Hamas jersey.
I'm a global man.
He's wearing West Ham. For those of us who don't know who the Hamas are, West Ham.
I'm a global man.
Jersey this morning. And Comrade Soko, you're not wearing a jersey this morning.
It's morning.
No, I'm not. I'm mourning. I'm in the mood of mourning. And I'm very, very glad that I've gotten that yellow card. Yeah. But that yellow card is very, I think it's subject to a VAR review because it's very, very unfair.
Okay.
The sports section, I think Mr. Raphael said, was it Mr. Raphael, Mr. Godwin? He said something about, why are we talking about 2027 and all that? But it's not talking about people that are forming coalitions and
that was Raphael, not me.
So I'm glad that we have moved past the politics section and we are now in sports where everybody is happy.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Viewers, please remember you can call in via the number shown on your screen or equally send in your comments via our various social media handle. Let me also say this. Please follow us all on Instagram. Follow at Godwin Ujiri on Instagram. Follow at I_Rafiki on Instagram. And follow at Ebuka_Levi_Ike on Instagram. Thank you. And also please follow our producer and director at Akin Gossent Official on Instagram. Thank you. All right, so before we continue with the discussions this morning, please let's look at the Punch Sports Extra. And the Punch Sports Extra has a list story as Niger Amazons. That's on page 6, and we has top female Nigerian players in 2024-2025 season. All right, that's on the front page of Punch Sports Extra. Beside the Punch Sports Extra masthead, we have Usman return with a lift water weight top 5. All right, that's on page 2, and above the masthead we have the story on page 6. It says Napoli in talks for Osimhen swap deal. Page 6 also has the story on Paris FC Nantes reach 7 million euros for Simon agreement. Page 2 also has a story on Joshua speaks on Nigeria-Ghana rivalry. Then page 8 has that's from the FIFA Club World Cup. It says Man City 2 versus Wada 0. Alright, and it says folding past defending champions to winning start. Alright, that's on page 8 of Punch Sports Extra. Page 3 has a story on Barca agree personal terms with Williams. That's on page 3. Page 5, United to battle Arsenal in opening weekend. And that's on page 5. Page 4 has the story on Gunners quotes 19 million euros for Rodrigo. And that last story on page 4 has a story on Rashford desperate for Camp Nou move. All right, that's on the Punch Sports Extra. So viewers, remember you can join this conversation by calling the number shown on your screen, or equally sending in your comment via our various social media handle also showing on your screen. So let's start the discussion. I want us to, before we begin the talks of the current competition, the FIFA Club World Cup, let's look at the current ranking. Before towards October, November, December, the final results for the Ballon d'Or 2025 will be out, and we will know who will be crowned champion. But let's look at the top 5 ranking of the current power ranking for the Ballon d'Or award. We have number 1 Ousmane Dembele, and followed by Lamine Yamal and Vitinha from Portugal and Rafinha from Brazil. So Rafa, amongst these persons, I have my own thoughts, I have my own reservation, but we want to hear what you think about the current ranking for the 2025 Ballon d'Or.
First things first, I want to acknowledge the fact that we are not talking about Messi and Ronaldo anymore, and we are not talking about Messi anymore, because somehow they find a way to smuggle him, even when he's far away in America, doing only God knows what, because nobody watches the
football
league
in America.
Who watches MLS? Who watches MLS?
We have persons who watch MLS, but maybe probably not as noisy as the EPL, the Serie A.
It's not even possible.
Even the Saudi league is more
pronounced.
Than I think
the MLS now.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have Yamin Lawal. If I call him Lawal. Then we have Rafinha, we have Dembele,
we have Vitinha from Portugal.
Vitinha, and then who again? Salah is not even in the picture anymore. So, but I think the battle is between 3 persons, but strongly between 2. 3 persons, I would say Rafinha, Dembele, and Yamal, and then 2 persons, Dembele and Yamal. And I said something some time ago that we don't really know what criteria these people use in picking their winner. You will say this today and they are picking somebody else tomorrow. And I keep making reference to 2010. Forget about other years. There's also the year 2020, the year of the COVID, that you played. Yes, there was a time that the league paused, but it continued behind closed doors. We started watching them on TV again. There was a Champions League played that year, and a particular player did exceptionally well, Lewandowski. All of a sudden, they said there's no such thing as Ballon d'Or for that year. Only for them to come the next year and name Lewandowski best striker of the year. That's the first time we're hearing any such award, and that's the only time we heard of such an award. More like using it to compensate him for not giving him that award in 2020. Now let's go back to 2010. Wesley Sneijder won the Champions League with Inter Milan, won the league with Inter Milan, won the Coppa Italia with Inter Milan, runners-up in the World Cup. At 2010, was the highest goal scorer at the World Cup, but was not even in the top 3. And you had, yes, understandably, Xavi was in the top 3 because they won the league and Spain won the World Cup. Iniesta was in the top 3. They won the league and they won the World Cup. Messi, just because they won the league and he scored goals. And then they handed it over to Messi. Mind you, the same Inter Milan defeated Barcelona in the quarterfinals of the Champions League with Sneijder having won over the same Messi. So I can come out today if you ask me. I'll tell you Ousmane Dembele, because of his contributions this season, helping PSG to the Champions League, the French League, and even the French Cup. And we saw how he played even throughout. And we saw how he carried the team. And also we can talk about
even at the Nation League.
Yes, even at the Nation League. Do you understand me? Then we can also talk about Yamal. But like I said, the goalposts keep shifting. The criteria keep shifting. The year that we thought he was Erling Haaland because of the goals he scored, they came and said it's because Messi won Copa America. They forgot that it was goals they used in giving it to Messi in 2010 and that he won the league. Now, what's his name? Haaland won the league, top scorer, even with the European coefficient, it was the highest in Europe, and every other thing. And the next thing, the goalpost shifted. So I don't know how they choose their winners, but if you ask me, I'll tell you Ousmane Dembele.
All right, thank you, Mr. Raphael. Raphael, looking at that chart, we have just one African in the top 5. Just one African player in the top 5. Yeah, Mo Salah. Players like Hakim, what happened?
Achraf Hakimi is in the same league with Vitinha, if you ask me. But I think Vitinha has an edge over him because of the European Championship. Maybe that's why it's there, because if you ask me, Hakimi has done a whole lot. And for a player who scored in the quarterfinals, semi-finals and final, who is not an attacker or a midfielder, but a defender. And the way he plays, but even for club and country, also winning the Champions League, the French Cup and the French League. If you check, I'm sure if you check the top 10, Hakimi will be part of it. You can't take that away from him. But for Salah being in the top 5, I think he deserves the spots. He deserves the spots. The only thing that he can boast of right now is the English League and of course the top goal scorer for the EPL. And if you look at the other people that is pitched with, I think he only has one trophy to his name. Yamal has the league and the Copa del Rey. And then of course you have someone like Vitinha.
Vitinha has the
Champions
three
of them,
League,
the treble,
French
League,
French
and
League,
the
and
French Cup.
French Cup.
You also have Dembele, who is in that line also.
He also has Vitinha also has the UEFA Nations Cup trophy also. That's
Do you understand? So those things play a huge role. So I think he's where he is, but we don't know how. I will say it again. We don't know how they decide what they decide, and they don't show people how they pick. The reason why they will never show you, so that they can afford to shift the goalpost again and come with some kind of informations just to pacify you and make yourself happy.
All right, thank you, Raphael. Let's now come to you, Comrade Ibrahim Soko. It's been a while since a defender won Ballon d'Or award. What do you think this year, having the likes of Vitinha on the top 3 of the ranking for 2025 Ballon d'Or award?
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Ebuka. I'm very, very glad that Vitinha, although he's not a defender, he's a defensive midfielder. Sometimes he moves into the number 10 position. I'm very, very glad that he's in the running. I think he has rose up to number 3 in the ranking, which is a very, very, very good one. Because sometimes in football, as Mr. Raphael rightly said, they tend to always want to shift the goalposts. Sometimes they want to, when it favors them, they will say they are judging the criteria. This year is going to be a number of goals scored. Sometimes they will say number of trophies won if the goal statistic is not favorable to the powers that be. So I'm really, really glad that Vitinha is in this conversation, because he's a very, very underrated player, and he does almost all the work. Apart from Vitinha, another person that also moved up in the ranking is Nuno Mendes of PSG. I think he has risen up to 10th in the Ballon d'Or ranking, and he was also very, very instrumental in the Portugal side. Him alongside Vitinha, they were instrumental in the Portuguese side that actually won the European Nations League Cup. And when you even go to the World Club tournaments that they are participating in, they demolished Atletico Madrid 4-0. So Vitinha and Nuno Mendes, both defensive midfielders and defenders respectively, are actually doing very, very well when it comes to this race for the Ballon d'Or. But I want to align my thoughts with that of Mr. Raphael, because and go with Usman Dembele, because based on the flair, based on his contribution, based on the fact that he's an attacker in that PSG side, and the number of trophies won and his assists, I think overall is going to be the one to actually clinch this particular award. But never say never, if judging by the past controversies we witnessed in 2010 going forward. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Comrade Soko. But still sticking to still sticking with you, I just want to ask now. Cole Palmer has been ranked, I think, as the best individual performance within the 2024-2025 season. Now, I need your thought on this. Do you think, given his performance as touching to other players, do you think that he is best fit for this particular position and ranking?
Yeah, thank you very, very much. If I'm not mistaken, that particular game, the particular game in which he clinched that particular award, I think is the Brighton game, Chelsea against Brighton. And in that particular game, I think he scored all the 4 goals, and the hat-trick was scored within 30 minutes, that's if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think that there was a better individual performer than that Cole Palmer. I'm not saying it as a Chelsea fan, I'm saying it objectively.
You are saying it, Jari.
I don't. Yeah. I'm saying it objectively. So based on this particular game, I don't think that there was a better performer. The other, though it's debatable, but based on his performance on this particular game, I don't think there was a better performer. So, congrats to him. I hope he improves. It's not all about winning individual performance. You also need to improve your team.
You need to help Chelsea win the trophy.
What?
He needs to push Chelsea to the top of the Premier League table.
Yes, exactly. You need to push Chelsea to win a major trophy, because there are a lot of critics that are not comfortable with the fact that we are winning a conference league, and
conference league are for the low levels now. Conference league.
A lot of them came up to that effect. So it's not enough to just win individual awards. You also need to carry your teams, and that's why it's not a major contender for the Ballon d'Or we are talking about previously. So you need to move to a better stage and carry his team in collectively. Thank you very much, Mr. Godwin.
All right, thank you so much. Raphael, I think I would be coming to you now. First is, do you agree with his assertion? And then if you notice when he was talking, when he was talking, he was looking at the fact that this ranking came as a result of just one game, and it is a season thing. So could it be said that there have been antecedents all through the season that have brought him to limelight?
I think before Palmer went into oblivion, let me put it that way,
okay,
we can all agree that he was the one that carried Chelsea for a period until, I don't know if he was injured, or I think he was injured or something, that he was out for a period, and when he came back, we didn't see the Palmer. Last season, I think he was among the top goal scorers in the EPL, and also assists. But everybody expected the same thing to happen, but it never did. But for some of the games that he played, we can agree, both as rivals and even fans, that Palmer did well. And if the criteria with which they used was, because if you see it on the screen, the game against Brighton, of course you can agree that it was Brighton against Palmer on that day. So I think it's a well-deserved award.
All right. So Palmer, to me, is also a good player. He's quite skillful. Just like Raphael said, last season he was the second to the highest goal scorer in EPL. Just that this season wasn't his best. Yeah. Although he had key moments where he played some quality role to help Chelsea secure a win. That's that. We hope in this new season, the 2025-2026 season that will start in August, he will be more effective than he was in 2024-2025 season. Let's move away from Palmer's award and now go to Italy, where Gattuso has agreed to become the new Italian head coach. Raphael, you know Gattuso.
Gennaro Gattuso.
You remember his playing days?
Then go fight tire.
Remember his playing days. I used to like watching him because he had so much command in the field. He wasn't the person that you could just easily push aside or want to have tackle and you know that saying, Raphael, I say when you miss the ball, don't miss the leg. Gattuso is somebody who also believes in such statement that once you miss the ball, don't miss the leg. So what do you have to say about him, and do you think he will do well as head coach of Italy?
Gattuso is one person that we know that is very rugged and someone who will speak truth to power. That's why a lot of people don't like him, because he says things as they are. But there's one beautiful thing about Gattuso. There was something that happened on the field. I think it was I've forgotten the team he was playing for, and he played against AC Milan, and it was him against Kaká that had the issue. And Kaká doesn't speak English, so after the game he waited by the hallway. So when Kaká saw him, Kaká thought he wanted to continue the fight. After the game, he was standing with a Brazilian player also, who could speak English. And then why was he standing and waiting for Kaká? He was waiting for Kaká to apologize to Kaká for what has happened on the field. So he's also a very sweet personality. But I believe that with him in the aim of affairs, nobody wants to go head to head with him. Thank God there's no Balotelli in the squad.
no stubborn player in the Italian squad.
Do you understand? So I believe he will do well with the Italian team.
All right, Comrade Abraham Soko, do you align with Raphael's thoughts? Gattuso, he is a different personality on the field of play, and outside the field of play, he has another different approach, or a different person outside the field of play. What do you think, or how do you see his tenure as the head coach of the Italian national team?
Okay, thank you very, very much. I personally, for one, I like Gattuso because of the very, very feisty career he had. He was this really aggressive defender, and he brought a very, very good memories to my childhood. As a manager, I cannot.
He brought memories to your childhood. I hope you're not a bully.
Sometimes we had players that had flair, like the likes of Kaká, the likes of Milito, that brought flair to the game. But you also need aggression, the likes of Materazzi and Gattuso. These are players that actually made football then really, really enjoyable. But what I would want to say, as a manager, I don't know if he has done enough to actually deserve that role as the Italian coach, because judging by his antecedents, some of the teams he managed, I think the most high-profile team he managed, I think, is Napoli. He managed Valencia at the time, and he managed Fiorentina. So I don't know if he has actually done enough as a coach to actually deserve that role. I don't think he's in the caliber of the likes of Thomas Tuchel and the likes of I think Martinez, the coach of Portugal. I don't then the coach of I think France. I don't think it's in that caliber. But in football, in management role, you grow. You understand? So I'm wishing him the best. I hope he's able to grow into that particular role. I just wish him the best. Thank you very much, Mr. Godwin.
All right. Thank you so much, Comrade Soko, for that. And Mr. Raf, I think we'll be coming to you now. And then the story we would be looking at is how Mikel exposes government corruptions to ex-England international and reveals he's still being owed for Rio 2016 trip. So what's your take on this?
If Mikel, okay, he has a podcast now that he discusses some of these things. So I'm very sure that's where this whole story came up from. Um, Even if you call the people like Sunday Olise and the likes, they will tell you how they were also being owed for Atlanta 96. You know, Nigeria never prepares for any tournament. You just find out that when it's time for the tournament, they're telling you there's no money, and some of these players, because of their status and international recognition, they try to help in the best way they can. But where we now have problem is if I come out to help you when you are when you are short, I expect you to refund. It's not in my place as a footballer. As a matter of fact, when I'm coming to play for the nation, there's a certain bonuses that are due to me when I play. Do you understand me? But in this situation, I realize that if I don't do this, because I have the capacity to do it, if I don't do it, my country stands a chance of losing out in attending this tournament. And this tournament has a way of increasing your rankings and your pedigree, even your market value when you attend some of these competitions. And knowing fully well that Nigeria needed this exposure, and some of the players also needed that. So that's where people like Sadiq honed their skills. That's where people like Trustekon, Etebo and Co. That's where they went and they shone. We came out third to the bronze. That's why Nigeria till date is the only nation that has a gold, a silver, and a bronze in the Olympic soccer competition. So he coming up to save the country's face, to say, okay, I'll do this. Hopefully, maybe I'll get that which I have used to support the team. And 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20,
That's
21,
9 years.
22, 23, 24, 25, 9
That is
years.
9 years.
And we're still talking about that. It just shows you that a lot of people, we have a lot of Emulokon who are handling positions that they are not supposed to be in at the moment. It's not enough for you to desire to be in a position. Do you have the capacity to handle such positions? If I have got you, for example, you are in dire need of getting something, and if you don't get that thing, it passes you, and the next time you might get it again is in 4 years, and I have the capacity to assist you, maybe in the next 1 week or so, you pay me back that which you owe me. I don't think I should be chasing after, even though now in Nigeria, I usually advise people, don't borrow anybody, whatever you cannot lose. Whatever you cannot let go, do not borrow, because people borrow with the intention of not paying these days. That's why you want to, when I ask Buka, how for that money, say, I know if you leave them for me. But when you came to me, you didn't tell me anything like that. So if you're going to this is to all of you watching and listening, if you're going to let out any money, let it be one that you can let go. So I think that's what is happening in this Mikel's case. I didn't listen to the video, but I don't think Mikel is speaking in the sense of give me back my money. Do you understand me? I think he's just saying the sacrifices that he made during that period, and even till now, I have not seen anything in regard to that money that was paid. Thank God Mikel is not all these are loan sharks. Maybe they would have snapped Nigeria and be sending to friends of Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much, Raphael. Komisoko, I just want to stick with you now and ask you the same question. Does this, after 9 years, just as we rightly count in the studio here, does this not challenge the integrity of the NFF? And would you blame Mikel for speaking out at this present time concerning what transpired in the past and what actually happened to another ex-international England player?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Godwin. As Mr. Rafi rightly said, Mikel has the podcast right now, so he has the audience and he has the reach to be able to make some of these views and these narratives. And it is really, really a very, very big shame that this had to happen, because when the NFF, the Nigerian Federation, Athletics Federation, they usually have their budget, the budget for these tournaments. So it will be a very big shame that the Super Eagles team did not have the money to pay for their flights to Rio 2016. And if you go back to that particular Summer Olympics, you will discover that that was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was the only medal we won in the entire Olympics, which is a bronze medal from the football team. So I would say that without that sacrifice, we wouldn't have even won that particular medal. So this is also bringing us back to the Olympic we had.
Yes.
The Olympic we had, I think the one we had, the most recent ones, I think in Paris, we did not have issues with funding. As our House of Rep, we are bringing money left, right, and center. The problem that we had then was now the omission of our star athletes from the competition which he registered to partake on. So I don't know if we don't have issues with funding, we're having issues with institutional problems, we're having issues with federations problems. So I don't know where we are going to go through this mismanagement of our sports in this country. So it's a really, really sad one. And as Mr. Raphael rightly stated, I don't think that Mika is saying it because of the fact that he wants a refund. Because truth be said, that the person in charge of that particular fund has already eaten that money, has already gone to the toilet. That money is
gone.
The right voice me, as we say in the local balance. But what he's saying is drawing attention to the institutional crisis we have in our sporting circle, in our football federation, in our athletic federation, and what have you not. So it's a really, really sad one. It's a shame. I believe that the NFF, they are taking notes, and they should learn going forward. Thank you very much, Mr. Godwin.
All right, thank you, Godwin, my co-anchor, and our guests, Raphael and Soko. All right, now let's go to the FIFA World Cup. The first match day one of the group stages has been played, and after the group stages, after the first match day, we have a couple of defeats and a couple of celebrations already. The likes of Man City won their match, Chelsea won their match, Real Madrid drew their match, Atletico lost against Paris Saint-Germain, and what have you. So let's now get your review, Soko, starting from you, of the matches played so far at the FIFA Club World Cup.
Okay, thank you very, very much. What I would want to say about the FIFA World Cup is that the level of your league matters in this tournament. If you are playing an elite league, it's definitely going to show. It's really sad that our Kano pillars, our the likes of our NPL FL team did not really represent, because it would have been an opportunity.
Therefore, kill on
judge
therefore, kill on
progress. So it's a really sad one, because the level of your local league is actually reflecting in this tournament. Because if you look at the likes, I think the first one of the first matches, Bayern Munich against Auckland, a team in New Zealand, that game actually ended 10-0.
Bayern.
I had to go and check what some of these footballers were doing. Yes. And I found out that they were not full-time professional players. So we're actually working in factories and what have you not, and Uber drivers and all that. So football was kind of secondary to them. And the score so far, I don't know if it's going to change, has really reflected that the elite leagues are actually doing better. Because when Chelsea played I think Seattle Sounders, when our last match that we played,
LAFC.
Los Angeles, when I saw Giroud was in the team sheet for Los Angeles, I was like, okay, there was no way that they were going to win us, because I'm not trying to disrespect the USA, but in terms of football, I don't think they are on the same par, on the same level with the English Premier League or in England. And the other teams that are actually doing very well, better, is the South American League. You see the likes of Boca Juniors, you see the likes of Flamengo.
Buffalo.
They are doing very, very well. So Boca Juniors were able to hold the Benfica to a draw. So that shows that the level of the South American League has really, really progressed. and it has really, really gone really, really far. Even Porto could not win Palmeiras. So in terms of general performance, I think that the elite leagues are doing very, very well alongside the South America counterparts. So it's a good one so far, and I look forward to more games to come in this tournament. Thank you very much, Mr. Gordon.
All right. Mr. Raphael, just a while ago, we were comparing the likes of the English Premier League, the MLS, and the Saudi League. And now Soko has also made mention of the fact that they are not anywhere close to the English League. But let's look at some of these teams in the FIFA Club World Cup. I want to ask, some persons out there would not know what's qualified most of these teams to be in this competition. I want to find out from you.
You're asking me? If you know me to answer that question, you're asking me. Because
so what do you think qualified most of these clubs to be in this competition?
I want to believe that these teams were selected at random. Were selected at random because you have 4 teams from Brazil who are taking part in this tournament. You have Al Hilal from Saudi Arabia, Urawa the Dragons from Japan. Then what's it called? LAFC, Seattle Sounders. What's the Inter Miami from the US?
From US MLS.
So like I said, I believe that these teams were picked based on their previous record. What I mean by maybe last year, because you see teams who won the league this season are not there. But you find teams like Manchester City playing there. Of course, they won the league last season. You find Barcelona also. Is Barcelona playing?
No, I don't see Barcelona.
Okay, no, it's Real Madrid. It's Real Madrid, that won the league last season. And you have Inter Milan also honing their skills there. So
even Chelsea is there also.
Chelsea is also playing. And there, some of these teams were handpicked, while some of them were based on their record last season, I think so. Representing their region, both Europe, Africa. You can see even the African powerhouse, Sundowns, Mamelodi Sundowns, you find them, the Al Ahly.
But the likes of Nigerian Premier Leagues and what have you.
No, don't go there.
We can see Remo Star, we can see...
Remo Star just won the league, so you can't mention Remo Stars. Like I told you, it's not a recent, because if we're talking about recent record, you'll be talking about things like Napoli, Liverpool, Barcelona, playing in this tournament. Do you understand me? But no, I don't think that's what they use. And which goes to show the level of, what's it called? I've not felt that English fail me now. No, I've not felt the hits that came with the hype of the tournament. You know, when they say World Cup is coming, everybody, Nations Cup is coming, everybody. Then the Club World Cup, there is this level of, it's just not there. I don't know, you understand me? So that's, like I was telling somebody, I think, excuse me, this is happening because we are not dealing based on current form. Because if we are dealing based on current form, imagine there's a Barcelona, Napoli, Liverpool, what's it called? Sporting Lisbon, all the top teams. Of course, nobody. Just imagine an Atletico playing with a PSG and receiving 4-0, which would have been more. And that's because PSG, they're on form at the moment. They've won 6 games on a row without losing any of them, and 2 of those games gave them cups. One of them the French Cup, one of them the Champions League. So I think we'll begin to feel these tournaments from the round of 16. But for now, that's why a team like Auckland, and my heart goes to them because they're still going to receive more. Do you understand me? But one thing I've come to understand with those teams, it reminded me of when Nigeria played Tahiti, where you have people who, for them, I think football is a side hustle. Yes, football is a side hustle for them. They have a lot of them have 2 other jobs. There's a particular guy there whose name is Lagos. He's an apprentice barber. Yes, one of them is an apprentice barber. That particular one called Lagos. All of them in that team have one job. Some are teachers, police officers. One works in a factory, and so they come together during their free time to train. Why they are playing against people who wake up in the morning and play till the evening? Why won't they collect 10? Even the ones that trained for morning to evening, a team that played Nigeria, I think it was Central African Republic or Sao Tome and Principe, and they collected 10, even though they too were professional footballers. So you will find some of these things. Imagine Madrid playing Al Hilal yesterday.
And they drew.
And they drew. Madrid almost lost.
Yeah, and
Madrid almost
Al
lost.
Hilal that bidded for Osimhen.
Yes, Madrid almost lost. So it means not only Osimhen, even Fernandes of Manchester United, a whole lot of players that are on their radar at the moment. So the tournament, I think with time would get to its hype. But for now, we'll just begin to watch the big boys, which are those from the European angle, Al Hilal and the Brazilian teams, honing their skills at the moment. But with time, the boys will be separated from the men.
All right, thank you so much, Raphael and Comrade Abraham Soko, for your analysis on the shows, on the topics we've discussed this morning. Viewers, this is where we'll call it a date for today. We want to appreciate you for joining us on the show. Please do well to join us on our subsequent editions, and we'd love to hear your comments, your views, and your calls while on the show. Just to appreciate you, my co-anchor, for being here also on the show. Thank you for co-anchoring with me. Although at the beginning of the show you were wearing a different face, now you're wearing another different face.
Ebuka, one thing I would pray for is that don't let Nigeria happen to you.
Yeah. It's well. All right. Once again, thank you to our guests, Comrade Abraham Soko and Mr. Raphael Oja Okomo, for making our time to be here on the show. Our viewers, till we come your way again next time on this same station, please remain the best you can be. Thank you and bye.